I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. Aiyoku Nakasu joins us. Hi.
Hi.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on. Please introduce yourself for everybody.
Okay. I am Aiyoku Nakasu. I am a Tulip Princess VTuber, and I am also a indie VTuber that is a part of a group called Aiyoku.
Oh, and what's that group all about? Did you start that one up?
Yes, was actually started last year
Mm.
by myself and two other close friends of mine who are also indies.
Mm. Mm. And is it a support group type of thing, or do you have the rules and regulations, or how does it work?
Well, we are Noyen is a specifically a VTuber group,
Mm-hmm.
and we've done like a lot of like uh group collaborative stuff together. Kind of the typical things that a VTuber group has, like things like a um group Minecraft server
Mm.
and little things here and there.
Yeah, it's nice to have a
And the
group like that.
main, yeah,
It's nice to have a group like that together where you can rely on each other and enjoy each other's company all the time and know who you're dealing with in collaborations.
yeah,
It doesn't always happen that
very
way
much so.
for people you don't know too much about. You've been doing stuff on the net for a while now. Uh, when did you get started, and why did you decide to switch to VTubing?
I got started around 2014 with my current channel.
Hmm.
I didn't quite make the switch fully to VTubing until I want to say when I started doing more 3D modeling.
Mm.
Though prior to that, I have been a very active uh, watcher of like indies before becoming one myself.
Hmm. Did you kind of take that as an inspiration to switch over and do some YouTubing or VTubing, I should say?
Yeah.
Mm. Well, that's cool. I know that you got a lot of different skills and I'm doing a lot of different things. Um, why did you get into content creation in the first place?
As far as content creation,
Hmm.
what got me into that was primarily especially under my current name, even my previous alias, was actually there's a community that came before VTubing of people who do like music content and animations and all that stuff called the Otaide community.
Mm.
And I was a part of that community for a good while before switching to VTubing. I run at least a couple things related to that community as well, still to this day. So that's kind of where I got my start
Cool. Well,
with content
you're
creation.
you're quite a singer. We've got a song we're going to be playing a little bit, a cover. Have you always been someone who's been musically inclined?
I I mean, yeah, because I've now now I don't have any formal music training other than like, as I always say, one like choir class in middle school, but I've always loved singing just in general.
Mm.
So, and I love listening to music. So it was just kind of a given, and I just, you know,
Yeah. Well, it's a very pleasant voice, and certainly it's great to hear somebody actually singing the notes rather than have it be, you know, musically messed around with in the computers. I That's it. I'm an old man. I like people to sing when they're singing. But the listening to it, and it sounds like you're enjoying yourself with it so much. Has it been easy for you as a person to kind of not just perform, but show other people what you're doing? It would be really tough for me to do something like that.
As far as showing other people, it's kind of somewhere between easy and hard. It kind of depends on who exactly,
Hmm.
but I it does bring a smile to my face though when, I hear, positive feedback
Hmm.
about my singing and all my effort I put into that.
Yeah, when you do put um, some music out, how long does it take for you to do a cover and produce it the way you'd like it and have it ready to go? Or are you one of those artists that likes to go back and tweak everything?
Production, song cover production can take a while, because especially right now, I don't have the most optimal recording environment.
Hmm. That
And
does hamper you sometimes when you don't have a
but
place to
yeah.
sing.
Hmm.
Yeah, a lot of folks do a sort of have makeshift studios and it works pretty good. It does
Yeah.
if you can set it up right, that it works pretty good. So,
Yeah.
how about the art side of things? You're doing the 3D stuff now?
Yeah. For the 3D side of things, I've only been using the program that I primarily use for that for about, let's see, I started in April 2021
Mm.
with my 3D modeling, and at the time, the only version of the software I use now, Viewer Studio, was the beta version. Now we have the stable version. That's been my go-to. But
Mm.
it's not the only art thing that I do.
Well, I mean that's pretty amazing. I mean, when you sit down and think about it, and did you teach yourself how to use the program?
Yes, I've watched YouTube tutorials
Hmm.
on Vroid. But a lot of my time has been spent just messing around with all the different parameters that the software provides, with presets, with making my own custom textures
Hmm.
and such.
It's, and that's really cool. I think it's great that you're able to do that without a whole lot of art background. It really brings a different perspective to somebody doing this. I imagine somebody who is a art professional would know what questions to ask as far as the differences between someone with a large art background and someone who taught themselves how to do this. But I imagine you're coming up with some pretty unique stuff.
Yeah, actually, funny you mention lack of a art background. I actually actually do have a college degree and I've been doing art for a while
Well,
before I got into 3D modeling, so that kind of helped
I,
with all my stuff.
you
But
snuck that one by me. Uh, and so you do have the background, but still coming that you're gonna have a unique experience going in if you learn the program on your own. Um, I've always found that when I've done something like that in my workplace, I kind of find my own way around the program. Have you been able to find some shortcuts and easier ways to use that rendering program?
at one point, when I was still working, at one point I was fiddling with the specific um, plugin that had been made for Vroid Studio.
Mm-hmm.
But because of some changes to the software itself, That plug, I haven't been able to use that plugin as much as I used to, but it was really helpful when I could.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's YouTube tutorials about that plugin, but that's what I actually found it from was a tutorial. But
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really tough to keep up with little side programs like that when the actual main program keeps updating and the update wipes out all the old stuff. It's like when you have a Windows thing that
Yeah.
keeps updating itself.
Well,
You tell it to stop, and it does it anyway.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Windows.
Oh, I had one time I was doing a broadcasting a basketball game, and the game was over, and I had a little laptop, this little, not so great laptop we use for streaming for these games, and when I shut it off, it said Windows updating 65 updates. It says do not shut off computer.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, oh please, I want to go home. 40,
Uh,
45 minutes later, it was done. There wasn't anybody left in the gym. I was just sitting there by myself, waiting on this stupid computer to update.
I feel that sometimes. Sometimes the only times I have like little issues with my Windows laptop that I have currently. It seems like sometimes that's only ever really caused by the updates
Oh yeah, yeah,
or whatever, some crap.
yeah. They're
But
messing
yeah.
with it one way or another and messing up everything else that you're doing. And in a business setting, it's even worse because you've got some programs that will run on Windows, 11.116, but not on 117. Very specific type
Yeah.
programs. That's just pain in the butt. But the um, are you comfortable with where you are as far as VTubing goes?
Where I'm at currently, I I definitely want to do more
Hmm.
with my VTubing. I have a lot of things in the works right now, especially lore related endeavors and more merch stuff that I'm trying to do. Um, and actually, the biggest endeavor right now is the fund. I'm trying to currently fund a brand new live 2D model
Hmm.
art for myself. I do have a live 2D already
Right,
of my previous design,
right.
but I wasn't always the tulip princess I've become uh, up until now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's like been the biggest expense
Yeah.
and the biggest endeavor that I'm trying to like, you know,
Hmm.
keep paying for.
Yeah, sometimes it does tear into the pocketbook a little bit, to get what you want. But are you having is this
Yeah.
your own artwork you're going to have, or is it somebody else's?
It My next model isn't being illustrated by me. It's being illustrated by a fellow artist slash VTuber that I met through VTubing. Her name is Kartika Chaos.
Mm-mm.
Um, and she's a really great artist. I really enjoyed her work before picking her
Mm-mm.
as my next model parent.
Well, I tell you, for an artist to endorse another artist, that means a lot. I would think. I mean, they'd have to be pretty good at what they do. Otherwise, you just do it yourself.
Yeah.
And you're
I mean,
true.
I've made my own 3D models, but
Yeah.
2D is a whole different beast, especially live 2D.
It's still shows some trust. So I imagine this is gonna be pretty amazing when you're finally done with that and ready to go. Um,
Hmm.
so as far as streaming itself is concerned, what types of streams do you usually have, and how are you relating to your audience?
It's funny you mentioned streaming because at the moment I haven't really been able to like actively stream. I've done test streams in the past
Hmm.
with different equipment than what I have now. It's just a lot of IRL things that kind of impeded me being able to more actively stream. But as far as relating to my audience, um, I do that through primarily like um, my Discord server
Hmm.
and of course social media. You know, the usual stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It becomes the being a VTuber. I imagine sometimes encompasses a lot more than going on and turning the microphone on and doing it. That a lot of people are like pretty heavily on their Discord and the other social medias as well, and you can maintain folks having an interest in you without actually doing a regular schedule for a while.
Yeah.
You know, the uh, when you do come back and do a schedule, what are you planning to do with it?
Well, I've had a couple different ideas for things that I want to do if once I can like properly start streaming
Hmm.
and such. I already do like YouTube videos for now. That's like what like I've been experimenting with shorts and stuff already.
Hmm.
But I do have a lot of things in mind for streaming as well as YouTube. Um, I'd have to double check some of what I have planned
Yeah,
because my mind's drawing a little bit of a blank.
that's
But
okay.
yeah.
That's okay. Hey, I wanted to go back to the music for just a second. We
Hmm.
exchanged some communication as to what cover we'd like to feature on this interview, and you chose a song called "You and Beautiful World." What made this song stand out for you, and why did you want to cover it?
That song, I I just I covered it because one, I'm a huge Vocaloid fan. I've been one since I was younger, and I've listened to it so much in the past, and it just means a lot to me
Mm,
overall because the song is originally sung by one of my favorite Vocaloid characters, Megan Luca,
mm-hmm.
and I really love other songs from the same producer that produced that song. So it was, and for that cover specifically, I remember how excited I was when I found the instrumental that I used for it as well,
Well, it's great stuff.
because it's
We're going to play it right now and come back and talk about it a little
yeah.
bit. This is "You and Beautiful World" by Aiyoku Nakasu. Stay tuned.
世界はこんなにも美しくて刻む針の群れ君を待つ怖くなるくらいに愛しくて美しい世界は色あせてゆく流れ
That's You and Beautiful World, and Ayako is here with me right now. So you talk about it being a Vocaloid song, and you took it the other way. You took it to an acoustic level, um, and it works. It really does work very well. When you decided to do this song, did you really want to take it that in a different direction?
Honestly, yes, and it's partially because I've noticed um, how well my voice tends to pair with instrumentals like that,
Hmm.
and just songs that are like ballads in general,
Hmm.
um, just seem to be the easiest and but also some of the most fun songs that I've covered.
Yeah, it's your voice has a very interesting timbre to it. It makes it a enjoyable but unique experience to hear that. And it's I hope to hear a lot more from you with that in the future. Um, when you finally heard the end product of this, how satisfied were you? Did you have to go back and tweak it a little bit, or did you hit it first try?
I don't remember how many takes it took for that cover because it's been so long
Hmm.
since I did it. But I remember being really pleased with the mix that was done. A friend of mine, uh, friend of mine that did the video, um, also did to me a really good job
Hmm.
with it.
Hmm. Yeah, you'll be able to see the video, yeah, on by clicking one of the many links we've been able to find. That'll be in the description for this channel. When you choose a song, what do you look for? Do you look for something in your range? Do you look for a song that you enjoy listening to? Uh, what would be a good candidate for you to sing?
I usually it's kind of it's kind of sometimes a mix of both. Sometimes it's one or the other, but that's especially I prefer to go with songs that I really enjoy listening to over and over again, or just songs that just like kind of hit in a way that maybe other songs haven't
Yeah,
before, or
it's kind
you
of
know,
sometimes it's hard to explain what attracts you to a song. It just
yeah,
kind of feels right, and and if you open yourself up to different types of music, then you'll feel that every once in a while where um, a song that maybe you've never heard before suddenly jumps into the top 10 songs you want to hear. If you listen to all
yeah.
sorts. So are you one of those people that has a wide range of music you listen to?
As far as the actually, my music taste is pretty definitely different. Certain genres that I gravitate to like the most,
Hmm.
um, like K-pop,
Hmm.
for example,
Yeah.
or uh,
Well,
R&B and stuff like that, because I grew up listening to some of those things.
yeah.
But there's other genres that I also enjoy, like
Yeah.
a little bit of symphonic metal or just
Yeah. Just a
um,
little bit of symphonic metal just kind of brightens your
just
day, doesn't it? If you get the right song, you can get into that one pretty good. If it's
yeah,
if you open yourself up, you find a lot of different songs that you end up feeling in different ways. And I envy somebody
hmm
with the talent to sing them because I certainly haven't had the talent to sing them. And it's great to hear different voices do this sort of thing. We get a chance with with VTubers to hear so many different people now that we normally wouldn't have heard. And by normally, I mean about 20 years ago, uh, we wouldn't have heard everybody
Hmm.
getting a chance to do these sort of things. If you didn't have a VTube, YouTube type thing to record to and express yourself artistically, would you think you'd be able to find a different way to express yourself?
It's a good question. Um,
I do hit a good question
I
every now
think
and then.
so.
Would you
Yeah.
would you
To a degree, I think so. Sorry.
no? I mean, would you harangue and get into somebody's recording studio? Would you?
Well, I would like to like actually visit a recording studio. I haven't been able to though
Mm,
because of so many stuff that's
right,
happened
right,
behind the scenes for me.
yeah. Well, I hope you get a chance to
But
because it's really neat. Seeing
yeah.
all the bells and whistles and buttons and sliders and in my old radio days we had a old studio board that had so many buttons and sliders and stuff. Oh, I took hours learning
Mm.
how everything worked, the A and B buttons and patch bays and all that stuff. That was really fun. Then we switched it out for an easier one and I didn't like it at all. I want the bells and whistles.
Mm.
I want to play with a bicycle bell on it. It's, but it's really a whole different setup, and I'm really amazed by people and their setups at their own homes. Um, the microphones they use, the sound baffling they use. Um, People, I think, now are becoming a lot more educated on how recorded sound works. Um, and
Yeah.
it certainly does result in a lot of great recordings coming out. I hope that
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, I hope that that continues. And for yourself, are you planning to do any gaming online?
I, as far as gaming, like outside of gaming oriented collabs I've done with like friends of mine and other VTubers.
Hmm.
I do as far as gaming, I'm primarily a like in my own time, I usually boot up some of my favorite like MMOs specifically are like one of my go-to genres of games
Hmm.
because I grew up playing a lot of those
Yeah,
as a kid.
yeah. Do you like being able to collaborate with folks on stream with those types of games?
Yeah. That reminds me, most recently this month, I forget which week it was. I think it was actually the first week of this month. I joined a friend of mine for uh, his first VTuber anniversary event thingy,
Hmm.
and I got to play a few games with him then on stream.
That's cool. It's great to be able to play with friends on stream and for one thing, just be able to play with them to start with, but also be able to act up a little bit
Yeah.
and get in front of an audience is 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 getting in front of an audience and knowing that there are people watching you when you're doing these things, whether it's singing or gaming or whatever you plan to do. Is that an easy thing for you, or was that something that it takes a little while for you to get used to?
Funny thing about that, as far as getting up in front of people, um, and doing stuff like that, I used to have to some degree. Sometimes it still comes up, but I used to have some struggles with stage fright, but I'm more comfortable nowadays
Hmm.
with you know, doing stuff in front of other people. I used to. do things like talent shows here and there when I was still in school
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So that kind of helped
Mm.
with being comfortable in front of an audience, performing, doing whatever.
That's good. That's something I never got used to, even as a kid. When I was super young in grade school, I didn't really sing well, but I sang loud. So so I
Mm.
would get I would get like solos before the voice changed, and then the voice changed, and I haven't hit a note since. But then it that was I got a little more used to it, and then I stopped, and then it went away. It took me a while to get back up to speed again as far as getting in front of an audience, but um, it it still shakes me up if I'm standing in front of people I see and I'm supposed to be talking to all of them at one time. And then considering when I was on the radio, sometimes I'd have a couple thousand people listening, and but I didn't know where they were, so it didn't bother me. Does does is having a model and a VTuber persona, does that make things easier for you and make it more comfortable for you on the times that you are streaming?
Yeah.
Mm.
Though I don't always have especially for collabs, because these days the only time I really am on stream is during collabs. I don't do a lot of solo streams, like I mentioned
Right.
before. But um, regardless, it does help a lot. I have done content in the past, though mostly still offline, showing my face.
Mm.
But nowadays, I really do prefer having my persona be uh, the representation of me rather than my face and all that.
Yeah, yeah. It's just that little extra layer of comfort, and
Yeah.
you tend to get a little more freedom too. I would
Hmm.
if I did something like that, I know I could act more even goofier than I am. I could act more goofy. I mean, I'm pretty goofy when it
Hmm.
comes down to it, but it does allow people more freedom. Some people say it allows them to be themselves more. Um,
Yeah,
and
I agree with that sentiment.
yeah, yeah. So once you get up and we get that new 2D coming up. Do you have any big plans for what you want to do with the channel and what you want to do streaming?
Let's see. I know I mentioned earlier that I do have plans for my YouTube.
Hmm.
I believe one of those things was I wanted to do more stuff potentially. Well, actually, I already have something in the works
Hmm.
that I've been teasing on Blue Sky, especially, and just social media in general,
Yeah.
um, which is, of course, my lore. And I have other people involved in that endeavor at the moment. It's a little slow going, but I'm hoping to, do more with that
Hmm.
because unlike in the past, like before I truly adopted the whole Tula Princess branding
Hmm.
thing as a VTuber, I didn't really have much lore.
Right.
So now I get to kind of explore that side of things because I used to write a lot of books in the past. So I'm kind of the lead writer of my own little thing.
Is, is there anything you're not doing? Because you're just
That's
doing
a very good question.
you're doing all these things and you're talented in all these areas, and here I am just kind of sitting here like a bump on a log.
Oh, come on.
I'm supremely jealous. But I'm also too lazy to do anything about it. So there you go. It it
I mean,
it cancels itself out. But it's great that you.
yeah.
I'm really glad you have this chance to show us what you got. And uh, because there's a lot of talent there to show. It's very obvious,
Hmm.
and in you're you're picking and choosing your spots, and I think that's perfectly fine. So you can stay comfortable with it and fit it into your schedule, which I'm sure is all over the place. Um, and
Hmm.
I really hope we get to see a lot more from you this year because I want to see some more of what Ayoko's got going on, and we're going to have the links for everything on the description for this video. Check out everything that they've got. There's a lot there. Still a lot there that Ayoko is hiding from us. We're going to find all of it. And we're gonna absolutely enjoy what you have for us. And I have enjoyed talking with you here, and I hope I get you back soon. Maybe when you get that 2.0 running, or get the YouTube channel up where you want to go, let me know so we can have you
Hmm.
back again. Okay?
Yeah, I would love to be back again.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.